We are live.
I know, finally. Oh my gosh, man. That was stupid. Okay, good.
Whew. All right.
Made it.
Well, that was rough. Anyway,
Yeah, that was
Cody,
rough.
it's great
We're
to
good.
see you. Hope you had a good Monday.
It was a good Monday. Celebrating Columbus Day. It was
Excellent.
nice. Yes.
So, anyway, before we get into anything, we just got to put out that great disclaimer that we have to do. Just letting you know that Cody and I are not financial advisors, and we are doing this just from the graces of our heart, and we love to talk about cryptocurrencies, and it's just for entertainment purposes only. And I'm stumbling all over my words, so I'll let you take over, Cody.
Yeah, no, it's just definitely just for entertainment purposes only, but we just want to talk about all the different things that are going on in the world with Bitcoin, with other cryptocurrencies and exchanges, things anything that's relative to cryptocurrency, and because we believe in the future of it. And the future is now. Actually, there's a lot of crazy things that are happening, and I want to talk about some of these things. But first of all, Brian, can you maybe throw down your thoughts on Bitcoin and where we're at right now with the charts and whatnot?
All right, so Bitcoin, let me go ahead and pull up the screen, and we'll go right into you see the Bitcoin chart there?
Yep, beautiful.
All right, so we had a little bit of a down day today.
Yeah.
We had this like nasty candle wick, just kind of all red there. And this is I got 8-hour candle wick. So 3 of these wicks will equal 24 hours. So in the last 24 hours, it's just been red. So, but I'm not too concerned about it because it was just going down. It tested the 50-day moving average. It tested the 200-day moving average, and it has recovered a little bit. So I think we're still doing the battle for 28,000 to see if it's going to be resistance or stay resistance or turn into support. So we're still doing that battle. So, but I did find, let me see here, excuse me, this article with about on Forbes magazine talking about they're predicting that there's going to be 8 trillion, that's right, with the T, trillion, going into the crypto market amid the USD collapse. So there's big concerns about the US dollar. They're struggling. The Fed Reserve is struggling, with 33 trillion. That's a tough one. 33 trillion.
Yeah, it's insane. And we just passed that actually.
It's
last
crazy,
week.
Yeah. And now what's going on in Israel? So there's another possible war starting up in Israel.
Oh, it's happening now.
And they're looking at the US to back Israel. So, and we're already back in Ukraine. So when is China going to invade Taiwan? So they can go ahead and just really, really make the US start opening up the printing presses again, and devalue the dollar even more. So that's why, especially with Ripple, XRP winning their suit against the SEC, defeating that. So people are going to start definitely looking towards Bitcoin as a safe haven. They put their money, a store of value. So, and even on Forbes magazine, they're talking about $8 trillion going into it. It's just crazy that this is going to be happening, and then with all the ETFs that have been filed for spot ETFs for Bitcoin. So that's like $17 trillion under management right now. Those companies have filed for Bitcoin ETFs, spot ETFs. So even if 5% of that money went into Bitcoin ETFs, right, that's almost $1 trillion just alone. That's just blows my mind. So, and then what else did I find? Let me see. Oh, so now companies have filed for a spot Ethereum ETF as well, because they didn't know what to do, because the SEC just kind of pushed the ball down the road, and said, we're not going to go ahead and decide on these ETFs yet until later, until we get through the government closing or the government shutdown. Well, that's past us. they passed an emergency bill or whatever to keep the government going, but they're still not going to go ahead and vote on it. So now they're trying to do ETFs with Ethereum. So, but another thing I saw was Ethereum. I'm just going on here, but Ethereum also dropped 5% today.
Yeah, I saw that. That was crazy.
Because there was a large influx of Ethereum going into the market, I think is what it was. But you can see right here on the 7-day was 5%, but it was like 3.5%. But it was actually down more than that. You know, it's recovered. But this one little wick right here, I pulled it up. It was just about 5% drop from when it started to the bottom of it. So, and that, you know, I saw that. I actually had a couple of Ethereum orders fill today.
You did.
Yeah, that wick dropped down. I had some orders around 1565, somewhere in there, one at 1560, and they all filled. I think it got down to let's just bring out CoinGecko real quick. I'll just pull up Ethereum, see what today's range was.
Now, just out of curiosity, like, what are your thoughts as far as all the war that's going on? Because we obviously got Russia and Ukraine. You know, we have there's just crazy, like, unprecedented breakout of war in Israel that's happening right now. That's just unbelievable and just awful, absolutely awful. And, you know, with all that being said, you know, what are your thoughts on like, is that going to affect the crypto world? Or is that going to affect the banking world? You know, I think is really the probably the greater question, you know?
I mean, it's definitely going to have an effect on it.
It has to.
It has to. I really don't know. You know, I have thoughts sometimes, and I don't want to get into the conspiracy theory things or whatnot, but you know, China has already been trying to get people off of the dollar. You know, everybody's, you know, based the value markets are based off the dollar. Well, China wants to start their own, you know, maybe having everything based off of the whatever the China, what is China's currency called?
The yen.
The yen.
Yeah.
So I really, I don't know. You know, to me, it's a scary time because of the US dollar and what's happening with that, and with the possibility of them printing more money, more currency. That's just going to devalue the dollar even more. But on the crypto side of the house, I think that's going to just, I think we're going to see an influx of people going into crypto because of the dollar being devalued. I don't know. What's your thoughts on it?
I mean, I think that there's a lot of conspiracy theories that you could go into, which obviously it's fun to go into, but not necessarily a good idea to go into. But, you know, I think, you know, overall, every government wants to have the strongest currency, and it's, you know, I think crypto is a very difficult thing to have control of unless you have control of all of it. You know, like if China has the majority of the Bitcoin, then I guess you could say in theory there's a little control there. But, you know, I just think that there's going to be, like, right now there's banks that are shut down in Ukraine. Like, there is no banks that can, at least maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think that people can access pulling money out of their bank accounts easy at all in Ukraine. I think that, you know, Russia's already made it clear that they've shut down banks due to a lot of things that are going on with them. There's, you know, I'm sure that Israel is going to start making it difficult for people to withdraw money in certain parts, depending on what's going on. And it's just like, you know, with exchanges, they don't necessarily just shut down when war breaks out, you know, or if you actually have, you know, your cold storage wallets. I think that there is something to be said for having digital assets versus centralized banks when it comes down to times like these where we're getting into actual wars, which I don't know, it's scary times, man. I mean, this is like the most war we've had consecutively, and, you know, all at the same time since, geez, for a while now, right? I mean, we've had some wars, but like this is starting to become a real problem.
It's almost like there's like trying to be a shift of global power per se, you know, where it's been the US and NATO, and it seems like China, you know, the Eastern Bloc, you know, for lack of a better term, communist countries. It seems like they're trying to change the tide. Seem like they want to try to take control more so than like the US and NATO. And China scares me in a sense because of all the manufacturing they do, the cheap labor they have. I mean, everything that we have over here in the US, I mean, majority of it, it's made in China.
Right.
You know, or it's
Yep.
assembled in China,
Right.
or it has some ties to China. And
But I think you have something. I
cryptocurrency,
think what you're saying is actually right. Like, I mean, there's like, I feel like one war is inspiring another, which is inspiring another, which is inspiring another. The next thing you know, we're in World War III. I mean, maybe that's how this all goes down. Is just
I don't
chaos,
know, maybe.
complete and utter chaos. I mean, it's a theory, you know, like but it's happening. That's what's scary, is that it's
So-
actually happening right now, dude. There are hundreds and hundreds of people. We're getting into the thousands here that are dead in Israel.
Oh, it's
And-
over 1,000 now.
Yeah, that are dead. There's uncounted amounts of people
The-
that have been kidnapped, you know,
Yeah,
killed,
there's
raped.
less I
I mean,
heard, like
it's
over
awful,
100.
dude.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it
It's kind of, it's just like I'm feeling kind of like how I was feeling when 9/11 happened, but just in another country. It's obviously not as personal, but it is personal because it's personal, dude. This is Israel. That's really personal. Like, they've been our allies for years.
It is. So
I don't know. I'm not trying to
So-
shift the whole conversation. I'm just like, I
but
think it will affect
I think
the financial
crypto,
markets
this
like
could
big
make
time.
crypto even more important
Well,
moving
yeah.
into the future. I mean, as we know, we're a global economy now. So now if the currencies, say the US currency kind of collapses and other countries' currencies collapse, and what is there going to be left? You know,
Yeah.
they're going to, I mean, it's going to be cryptocurrencies. Or if you're doing global economy, global trading, if it's just peer to peer, like I'm going to see you, well, then maybe it might not be crypto. Maybe it'll go back to precious metals if we went backwards with technology. But I think cryptocurrency is going to be the way to go, the road that we're going down. You
Yeah,
know,
as far as
technology's evolving. I mean,
well, yeah, because I
paper
mean,
money's going away.
people say they're like, oh, commodities. You know, commodities are when you break out in a war, that's the most valuable thing now is commodities. And it's like, yeah, but how are you going to physically, tangibly carry these
So,
commodities?
Commodities.
You have to have something that still represents, you know, the value of those commodities. Like, say, and you know, I think that you know, that's going to be done
Ukraine. Ukraine with the grain. That's an actual commodity.
right.
Where Russia was like, I think they were attacking their cargo ships at one point, or stopping them from delivering their grain.
Yeah,
And that's a global food source. It's not just Ukraine that's, you know, waiting for that grain. It's going all over the world. It's going to Africa. It's going to these countries that need the food, or people are going to starve. And you have Russia that was blocking it because they didn't want Ukraine to get the money so they can keep funding their war.
right.
That's
Actually,
the
I want
only
to
way I could see why else would Russia stop them from exporting their grain.
yeah.
So, and in the beginning of the Ukraine war, you know, people were donating cryptocurrency then.
Oh yeah, dude, campaigning now has been actually here. Actually, I want to show you something really quick. I know you're about to go into Ethereum, but let me
No,
just,
that's fine.
since we're talking about it. So this is really, really interesting. So, well, first of all, I mean, people have been accepting. I know that they've been accepting cryptocurrency for the Ukrainian war. I know that that's been happening. I also know that like a lot of our candidates that are running for presidency right now are accepting crypto for their campaign runs and whatnot. But this is really interesting. Is why is the role of crypto huge? Hold on, I got this in the way. Huge in the Ukraine war. So crypto donations worth hundreds of millions of dollars have supported Ukrainian war efforts. Hundreds of millions of dollars have supported the Ukrainian efforts. This is huge. This is a massive, massive use case for cryptocurrency. This is proof that cryptocurrency in and of itself is not a scam, because this right here is what we need to be able to do things quickly. Like, you know,
instantaneous. We can't wait days for this
right.
transfer to happen.
So the
'Cause then-
decentralized nature of crypto allows digital currencies to be traded quickly, making them useful, a useful tool for getting money to conflict zones. So I actually would argue that due to the truth of this use case and how it's actually happening, it's already been proven that it's happening with Ukraine. It's already, it's probably going to start happening with Israel. It's going to happen as more wars break out. And this is going to be a massive run up for crypto. I mean, it sounds morbid to be talking about cryptocurrency in such a manner. Like, I don't mean for it to sound so morbid, but this right here in and of itself is an absolute perfect use case as to why we would need to do it. I just found this really fascinating, this article, and I think it's going to just continue to push the concept of mass adoption with cryptocurrency just because of war in general. I don't want war, but
Yeah, it doesn't need to have any infrastructure in place. You don't need a bank. All right, I got to go to the bank. Western Union, my money to this bank.
gotta
I
go
got
buy
to
an
go here.
AK-47. I need to go.
Right. I got to go. Oh, I can't go there. That one just got bombed. Where am I going to go now?
Dude, and this is
Right?
happening. This is happening right now.
But Elon
Banks are
Musk,
literally collapsing.
I mean, granted, you do need the internet to transfer your cryptocurrency. So Elon Musk was a great help with that, with the Starlink system or whatever he
So
launched.
can the Starlink system? Well, can the Starlink system avoid EMP bombs? Do you know if that's possible?
Well,
Like those electromagnetic pulse bombs that shut down massive amounts of power.
I would think that the EMP would have to be up in space near the satellites.
So that's how that would have to work. So, yeah, because I've had so many people argue that where they're just like, cryptocurrency. It's in conflicts like this. What if an EMP bomb goes off? It's like,
yeah, I'm sorry, little interruption here at the household.
Oh, no worries, dude. Yeah. So given the potential benefits and risks associated with crypto, public, private organizations across sectors are considering new regulations. Anyways, yeah, so those are the highlights of this article. I just thought that was really fascinating. And it's just, we'll see what happens,
That's all we can do.
Yeah. But let's go back to you, Brian. I want to talk about Ethereum for a little bit here, because I think that's a good thing to be kind of chatting about.
All right.
And if you guys have any questions about what we've already talked about, your thoughts on how cryptocurrency might be affecting the war in a positive way, and how war actually might be affecting cryptocurrency in a positive way. Not that we want war to affect to be the reason for crypto's adoption. But if you guys got questions about that in the comments, then please put it in the comments. Throw out your thoughts and ideas. We want to look up and talk about anything and everything we possibly can while we're here with you guys, because there's a lot to cover. So
Ethereum to me just retested a strong, like 1575 level here. You can see there's a lot of action going on around that level. Like, it's been testing, this level right here around 1575 as support, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the fifth time it's tested it. So we got to see if this holds. Hoping that it will hold, but if not, I think we could see it going down, probably around 1500. But yeah, I think this is just a temporary drop. I think it's going to come back up, and it's going to start, testing the 200-day moving average again, the 50-day moving average, and going back towards, 1700, and see what will happen. Right now, it's just it's not looking the nicest. That's for sure. But like today's range was roughly 1560 was its low, 1635. Still a lot of volume. 24-hour trading volume on Ethereum is $10 billion. So I was actually a little bit excited seeing this dip in Ethereum earlier today, because I was like, oh yeah, I've had these orders placed for probably about a month, and one finally
what do you have
hit.
what are your orders at right now?
Well, they filled. I had my lowest order was 1560.
Oh, yep.
And it hit. And then I had one at 1581. So I had two orders, and they both hit.
Yeah, and just to kind of give you guys a perspective, I'm going to take this back over for a second. So, this is Techpedia's article. where they were talking about Ethereum price predictions for the years 2023, 2024, all the way up to 2030. And so they're saying, that the maximum price prediction is $2,000 for 2023. I mean, I could see that happening.
Yeah, I think that
I could
be
definitely see
possible,
that happening.
definitely.
Probably even more than that. But also in 2024, they're saying that that's going to double and some. So that would be huge if we actually doubled from there for
Right.
2024. And I could see that also happening because I think there is going to be this gradual
Yeah, I think so as
incline.
well. Yep.
Yeah. After the Bitcoin halving, there will be a gradual incline that would continue up. And I do see that continuing up there. And then by 2025, as Brian and I both have for a while now been talking about, we believe that we will see the actual bull run take place where you will literally see, an $8,000 to $10,000 crypto, Ethereum. And, so this is not our predictions. This is this guy's predictions. So Elliot Lee. So, I think it's really interesting because, right now people are like, well, should we be buying crypto? Well, if you get in before it even, it's at 1,700 right now ish. Is that what we're looking at? So
yeah, actually, it's call it 1,600.
So 1,600. So it's at 1,600 right now. So you're buying at 1,600 right now. Imagine if at the top, let's say the top of the bull is, you're now worth 10,000 per ETH. I mean, that's very, very close to like a 7 or 8x.
Yeah, it's pretty close to a 7x
for Ethereum.
Number 2 crypto on them.
Number 2. Actually, I think it's number 3 now.
It's number 2.
Is it number 2?
Yeah. Yeah. So
yeah, because I saw USDT, or there was a stable coin that's number 3 right now. Actually,
200 and something billion market cap.
Yeah. So, anyways, and then 2030, an additional couple $1,000 added.
Yeah, I think that'll be larger than that in 2030.
Yeah, I
had one chart. I had one price prediction. They were saying it was going to be like 60,000 come like 2032.
Yeah. Well, Ethereum right now.
Yeah. What's its market cap since you have it up?
That's what I wanted to know. Because its total market cap right now, is 190 billion.
Yeah. So it's 200 billion.
So $200 billion market cap. So that would mean that if that 8x'd, it's like a 1.5 trillion.
Yeah, it'd be 1.6 trillion.
Yeah.
So that'd probably put Bitcoin around a $3 or $4 trillion market cap.
Right. So you need Bitcoin at a 3 or 4 trillion. This is a 1.6. So this is a yeah. So this kind of so that would actually imply that our entire market cap as a whole would probably be worth like 15 trillion.
Yeah, 10 to 15 trillion.
Yeah.
But so I think that could happen.
Massive.
I mean,
by 2030,
I think that's going to happen way before 2030. Come on now. Now the black sheep is back on top. XRP. Everybody's talking about XRP now.
Oh yeah, actually, I do have an article on XRP that I wanted to talk. So that's kicking butt right now.
That's part of the 8 trillion that's going to be going into crypto from the collapse of the US dollar, according to articles.
There's an article on XRP that's, hold on one second. Here it is. Yeah, this thing is crazy. I mean, dude, there's some like serious like strength in the Ripple world. The XRP world right now is going crazy. So Ripple might explode alongside Bitcoin and Ethereum. Here's why. Report. So, okay, Forbes indicate that the U.S. economics downturn could boost cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin, Ripple, and Ethereum. Predictions for the experts of the Christopher Woods and Robert Kiyosaki, which, by the way, is really interesting. Robert Kiyosaki has been very, very bullish with crypto. I don't know if you guys have watched any of his stuff, but specifically with Bitcoin, actually, there's a lot of videos. This guy used to talk about gold all the time. And now it's just like Bitcoin, 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 Bitcoin. I mean, this guy, I don't know if you guys have ever read his books, but Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Cash Flow Quadrant. I mean, these are some of the top selling books for business and investments of all time. And anyway, so he's big on Bitcoin. He also wrote a book with Donald Trump, which is kind of funny. The Midas Touch.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
that is a
didn't
really
realize
good
that.
book. I freaking love that book.
Oh,
I
I'll
don't care
have to
what
read
people
that
say
one. I
about
haven't
Donald
read
Trump.
that.
Yeah, the Midas Touch. It's the five fingers. So him
Imagine
and
that.
yeah, it's a powerful book. You feel like, when you're reading a book, this is such a rabbit trail, but when you're reading a book and it's like, you're like, oh yeah, I'm listening to this guy he got successful. He did a really good job. You can see he made a couple million or whatever. And then you read a book and you're like, wait a second. These guys, they just have this sound of like a billionaire. Like there's like, you feel like you're listening to a billionaire talk. It's a totally different animal of reading a book. That's how that
Yeah.
book felt. But anyways,
Yeah.
following legal wins against the US SEC, Ripple XRP could further benefit from the 2024 trial and potential banking partnerships. That's another really interesting thing. So you got a lot of pro people that are going towards becoming president of the United States, like, Ramaswamy. He's like, did I say that right? Ramaswamy?
I think it's Ramaswamy.
Ramaswamy. Yeah. Vivek Ramaswamy or whatever. Anyways, he's super for crypto. And then you got the other side of the table. JFK's nephew. Is that right?
Yes, I haven't followed that
But
too much.
he's very, very for crypto. So you got both
He is.
sides of the parties, both Democrats, Republicans for cryptocurrency. And so it'd be really interesting because you would think that something like XRP would be the logical explanation for helping push that forward.
I mean, centralized banks, they
Yeah.
would be able to. I'm going to pull up something real quick on.
Yeah, do it.
I had
Yeah.
an article on something about Ripple as well. So with Ripple, this was a price prediction for the analysis. Wave theory predicts 1,100% rise in XRP. They're predicting it to go up to $5.85.
Yeah, that's
like
crazy.
To beat the all-time high. So, the Doc Defender, they have presented the scenario where XRP could rally as high as 585. And they used the wave theory, which I had no idea what wave theory is, but to back up the prediction, with the third wave being the most important one highlighted. So,
it's crazy.
Yeah, who knows what's going on with that, but I went to the full article and I think it's possible. I really do. With XRP beating their lawsuit against the SEC, there were talks back in the, its biggest bull run was back in 2017 when XRP hit 385 or something like that.
Yeah,
$3.85.
Which, by the way, is unbelievable when you think about its max supply.
Right.
When you think about, and by the way, that brings so much hope to so many other cryptocurrencies out there, because a lot of people are like, well, numbers wise, you got 100 billion in max supply with XRP. I think it's less now, actually. I got to look into that
because I'm pulling up right now because they burn.
Yeah. No, pull that up. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that if it's got 100 billion and it's pushing above $1, that speaks volumes for other cryptocurrencies out there that are yeah. See, look at that right there.
It's 100 billion max supply, but they have 53 billion circulating, and now the total supply is 99 billion. Why is it? So the max supply is slowly going down.
Yep.
Because of the burning mechanism, combat inflation. So
yeah.
I don't know. For a while there, I'm just what concerns me with XRP, if you're buying the token for investment or to try to make money with it, is at the end of the day, I feel like the price is still controlled by, the big money, the centralized banking system, because that's who's really using Ripple XRP. So and it's centralized. So that's the only concern I have. But if you're just trading it, I think a lot of people are going to get rich on XRP just trading it. whether they believe in it or not. So right now, I mean, I see this as, this could take off at some point. It's battling again right here, the 50 and the 200-day moving average. But we'll just have to wait and see, but I could see Ripple hitting $1 by the end of the year. Easy. Especially if more positive news comes out for them.
Well, which is a 1x,
Yeah. I mean, 100% is always a great trade, especially if you're doing it in months. I mean, the conservative trader, you get 5 to 8% return a year, or, if you got 10% return a year, you're doubling your money in 7 years. So, but people are doubling their money in days sometimes with cryptocurrency if they're picking the right ones. So,
yeah, but right now, I mean, it's really battling at that line right now, where really the next point.
Yeah, the next point to me is, let me, so it's battling right here. This is to me like 50 cents. That's like kind of a imaginary line in the sand. So it's battling to hold 50 cents. If it holds it, I think then it's going to go up. We're going to see it hit like 63 cents. There was a little bit of, sideways action here where it's going to retest that. It might be a little bit of a resistance there. Let's pull this back a little bit.
I mean, honestly, dude, if we break through, we could actually have some support around that 80 cents level.
Yeah, we could.
I mean, that's kind of like, but we have to kind of break through that.
Yeah, like 80, 85 cents.
Right. I really could see that.
Right now, I think if we break through,
because there was some pretty good stability back in 2022.
If we can
February.
we break above 60 cents. I mean, it could go right up to 80 cents really quickly, because this was, I mean, look at this spike and went straight up, went from like 45, 47 cents all the way up to like 93 cents. I think that's when the second one lost their case against them. And then you see how quickly it went down, and now it's going back sideways, right back at the 50 cent line, testing that, just going sideways. People are just accumulating their bags here. And I think eventually they're going to accumulate it, and then it's just going to start going up, so here we are in October. I think people are we're going to see this probably sideways for a month or two.
Yep.
And then we're going to come into the new year and things are going to change.
Yep.
I think we might see it go back up to 63, 64 cents. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see this towards the end of the year. It seems like towards the end of the year, crypto likes to spike as well. If we get back up to that 80, 90 cents, or even $1, even a quick wick, but who knows? A lot can happen in a short amount of time in crypto, as we know. So,
yeah,
this is just all the build up to the build up to the build up. Really, I mean, we're in 2023, so 2024 will be like our 2020 of the last market cycle, right? Where we had the halving, so in 2024, we're going to have the halving, but things are going to really start moving after the halving. So we're still, I feel like, almost a year away from the market really taking off like it has in the past, but it's going to be a slow buildup, and it's like, you're not going to notice it. Like Ripple's 50 cents, and by time a year comes by, you're going to be like, oh, it's $1.50 and it's still a good buy.
yeah.
But you didn't notice it because it was just a gradual up, gradual, goes up, goes down a little bit, goes up. So
this is really interesting. Check this out. This is actually an article that says XRP price prediction crypto analysis wave theory predicts 1137% rise. So $5.85.
Yeah, I think it's going to go higher than that at someday.
Yeah,
You know,
another bullish.
there
Well,
was
and
talk
here's
where it would be like $10.
here's the thing. We were just talking about, the war and Israel and the war in Ukraine and all that stuff. This right here would be the asset that I think would be utilized for fast transactions with that kind of stuff.
You think
I
so?
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I think all kinds of cryptocurrencies are going to be used in general, but if you're talking about, you know, you're talking about centralization with XRP, not decentralization. You're talking
Correct.
about working with the banks.
But it's giving the
So,
banks the mechanism to send large sums of money,
right,
within
without high
minutes.
fees of transactions and having to deal with, I mean, you're actually kind of, to some degree, you could also be kind of having to not worry about all the constant, you know, multi, I guess you could say, national exchange stuff, you know. But who knows? Maybe not. I just think that, do you think the US is actually going to create a US dollar that's a cryptocurrency stablecoin that represents the US dollar? Like, I don't think that's going to happen.
Someday it will.
You think that's going to happen?
It will.
Oh boy. Yeah, you're
Someday.
probably right. I mean, yeah, but will it be? Yeah, I mean, it would have to be, I guess,
But who knows what's
But
going
what's
to.
stupid is we're already doing that. It's already happening.
It's already happening. But
Not the government,
will the dollar
but
go away?
the people.
I don't know. There's still gonna be this still gonna have to be something. It may not even be created yet, but I feel like there's still gonna be something like that. You can go do an exchange for services or goods, and still, in a sense, be under the table. Like, I'm paying cash for this because I don't want anybody
Right.
to know. To me, there's still going to be some type of currency that's going to allow that to happen. And if it's not created now, something's going to be created. As much as the government wants to control and see every transaction that happens in this world, it's not going to happen.
Right.
You got a dirt bike, right? But you don't like dirt bikes. But I have a four-wheeler and I don't like four-wheelers and I want a dirt bike. Well, we're just going to swap.
Right.
So there was a transaction that just happened, but there was no proof of it. There's no
Right.
record of it. And I think something along those lines is still going to have to be in place.
Yeah.
Whether it's created by, who knows, maybe it might be all the change. All the pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters out there.
That would
Maybe
be
that will
interesting, wouldn't
be
it?
right. I mean, so the other day, my son looks at a penny and it was like a 1933 penny.
Yeah.
It's
Still
in
alive.
circulation. So he looks it up. Well, this one in mint condition is worth $600. Anywhere from $2 to $600, depending on the condition of it.
Right.
For a 1933 penny. And then he found a 1954 nickel, right? And that was worth money, according to, like, if you go price them online and whatnot. So
Yep.
all these rare coins. So who knows what's going to take place if the dollar goes away. I could see a world where they're both being used. And that's probably what's going to happen. Is they're both going to be used for quite some time, to where it's eventually phased out. Like me, I'm a Generation X, right? My kids are Generation Z, or, so they're all about not having currency. They're all about, credit, if you want, or just, they look at things differently than like I do. Cash used to be always good. Cash was always good. Well, you know what? If you had $50,000 in cash and you wanted to go put a down payment on a house, you can't. The bank's going to stop you because they're going to want to know where that cash came from.
Right.
Well, I was just collecting it for a rainy day. That's not good enough anymore. They want to know where that cash came from.
Right.
So, because it's all a control thing. So, but I think there's going to be It's going to be both. It's going to be cash and
But with the banks,
digital.
what I've noticed with our country, like what truly supports the US dollar is the workforce. I think it's the people, that their value of work. Because dude, if you go to the bank right now and you try to get a loan, they want to see those pay stubs. They want to see your actual work ethic and what you're doing, and if you're keeping a consistency with that. Like, I could have $1 million in the bank, but if I don't have some kind of proof of cash flow that is actually going to support the loan that I want to take from that bank, then I'm not going to get the loan. I won't. And I think so. So what that tells me is that, the banks are saying, well, your value is based off of your work ethic, your what you've been doing in the workforce, and show us your taxes. And if your taxes prove that you've been, whatever it is, you've been professionally for so long, I don't care how much money is in there. Like, dude, it's crazy. So it's, and we're losing the workforce in the United States.
We are.
Big time. We've lost so much workforce. And I don't know if that's just a generation transition right now.
I don't know where they've gone. So
dude, it's so hard. Me being in the construction
that's a whole
world,
nother conversation.
Yeah, it is. But it's all a big part of the reason why all this is. It's all interconnected. All this stuff.
You got teenagers now that they don't want to go get a part-time job if they're getting paid less than $15 an hour. They don't want to go work.
No.
When did that happen?
That happened right after COVID. People realized during COVID that they could stay home and collect money from the government.
My first job I got when I was 15, I was bagging groceries.
Yeah.
I was getting paid $3.35 an hour.
Yeah.
And that was like 25 cents above minimum wage. I was like, yeah, I'm rolling in the money.
Dude, my first job, I was working at a racket club,
Really?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I was working at a racket club, and I was cleaning the courts, and I was threading the rackets, getting them ready for people to play. And I was they were paying me like $6.50 an hour, I think, for that.
Oh, you're making bank.
Yeah. It was crazy. I was a rich
Too bad you
young
weren't
man.
buying Bitcoin when it was like a
holy crap. Well, it hadn't come into
it
wasn't there. Bitcoin was not a thing yet. It
No,
hadn't been launched yet. Isn't that crazy? It's just wild to think about. But anyways, so dude, so there's like one other thing.
Any updates on the trial?
Yeah, so a little bit of updates on the trial, not a whole lot. I mean, they're just
His girlfriend was going to testify soon, right? Oh, did she?
I don't believe she has testified yet. So, all right, crypto venture funding dropped 63% in a run up after the FTX trial. No, what is this? It's not it. Here we go.
From 26 billion.
Yeah. This is making me want to subscribe to this thing. I don't want to subscribe. Well, anyways, we'll get some more updates on that at some point. I can't seem to pull up that article at the moment. But yeah, no, it's just really interesting. There's a lot of conflict going on in the world. I think that's what's so fascinating to me is like, where's that going to put the new technologies financially? Because what everybody's fighting over is power. People just want power. So the best way to have
power.
That's all it's about. So it's like, what defines power is somebody who can control the people, and by controlling the people, you have it's the value, So yeah, I do think it is really interesting to see how things are going to unfold now with Israel and what's going on with that. And I think I actually think that what you said makes a lot of sense with Taiwan and China. That, could be something that would be, that would be crazy if that actually happened. That would make so much chaos in the world, as if there's not enough already.
I know. I'm just trying to wrap my hands around it right now, thinking about it.
Yeah.
What could happen?
Yeah, but if China, I think China's got some things in their back pocket, and I think that crypto might have a little something to do with it, maybe, but maybe not.
Yeah. I think crypto is gonna crypto's going to be the new financial system, or the evolution of the existing financial system, right? We already had digital financing. We already had digital money per se, but it was how it got cleared, like credit cards, debit cards. That's all digital. It's all ones and zeros data, but it's how it's getting processed at the end nodes. And that's where I think blockchain has speeded things up and made it more secure. But we've already been in a digital world. But it was centralized, and there were still too many people involved that had to take their little cut.
Yeah.
Whereas cryptocurrency and the blockchain, as it was stated, it was a trustless system. You didn't have to worry about trusting anybody,
right,
to make your transactions.
So I mean, but China was, one of the first China was one of the first countries who actually embraced cryptocurrency.
But then they banned it
very quickly.
They banned it. Remember, they banned it.
They did, yes, but that's just their communist thing. That's what they do.
Right.
But I don't know if they abandoned in crypto as a government.
I don't think they abandoned it, but they banned it, from their general public.
And I know that, well, I mean, their first exchange opened, I think it was in 2011, 12 or something like that. They had that BTC China exchange that opened up. And it was just, I mean, because they were very early adopters in this whole thing, which really kind of begs the question as to whether or not Satoshi Nakamoto, he, she, it, they, whatever, was more Chinese.
Or a group
in China. I mean,
right.
Who knows?
Yeah. So,
but they were accepting payments back in 2013, 14. I mean, this was early stuff. They were accepting payments to do different things with cryptocurrency. There just was no regulations in place, and the government didn't really show much interest because it wasn't really that big of a deal back in 2011 and 13.
Possibly too, maybe because they didn't have any control over it. Now, where was Mount Gox exchange located? Was that a China exchange as well?
Mount
Gox. You remember that one? That was like the huge collapse of that exchange.
Here, I got it right here. So the Mount Gox Bitcoin exchange based in Tokyo, Japan.
Oh, it's in Japan.
Yep. Launched in 2010. It was handling over 70% of all the BTCs. 70% of all Bitcoin was on Mount Gox.
Wow.
No, hold on. Over 70% of all Bitcoin transactions. I was going to say 70. That doesn't make sense. I was like all of a sudden clicking in my head like that made no sense. So transactions worldwide early in 2014 were abruptly ceased. Operations. Basically, it got hacked. Yeah. Long story short, for those of you who don't know what happened there. And this, by the way, is a whole nother reason. They started
paying money back now, too.
Oh, have they really?
Yeah, I think they recovered some of the stuff they got.
Some of the losses. Well, there has been a lot of people that have scammed. And this is something I think a lot of our people that are watching this channel need to understand, is that there's a lot of scams out there. Obviously, we've talked about it before on our channel, but there's a lot of really, 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 really good hackers. And if there are exchanges that don't have good cybersecurity that is backing their exchange, there's very serious possibility they can be hacked. But that doesn't mean that the crypto asset itself is a scam. It just means that there's hackers, and maybe some of those hackers are actually in the actual organization or corporation of the exchange itself, which I think is pretty common most of the time.
I wish I would have saved a article I saw.
What was that about?
About a hacker who, I want to say it was like $200 million worth. He hacked and stole
$200 million.
But I think they put it out there like, if you return the money, we'll pay you like $400,000, and nothing will happen to you. You can just walk away. And the person did. The hacker did.
Holy crap! Well, they actually just let me see.
So I'm looking up some stuff right now.
There was a hacker that recently got caught, and I think he actually was. Oh, this is the Bitfinex hack, but this was back in August that he pled guilty, admits to massive Bitfinex hack. A New York man admitting being the original hacker of the Bitcoin of 2016 hack for Bitfinex. He has pleaded guilty in federal court in a conspiracy of launching a stolen cryptocurrency, which ended up being $4.5 billion.
Really?
Holy crap. The guilty plea by that's like my daughter's name. Ilya. It's Ilya, but my daughter's Ilia. That's interesting. But anyways, so he came before his wife, pleaded guilty to the money laundering conspiracy, and the conspiracy deferred to the United States government. This is crazy, dude. I didn't. Did you know about this?
Not really.
This came out back. I mean, I knew about this hack. I didn't realize that the guy actually pleaded guilty and it came out. That's crazy. So yeah, this was published on August 3rd this year. Pleaded guilty, $4.5 billion. But these are the kind of stories that are going to continue to come out, though. I mean, the Sam Bankman-Fried stuff. You know, you have this guy right here. I mean, there's so many different things that are going to come out because there's been so many scams. There's been so many, scams with ICOs, hacking into exchanges.
So I found the article I was talking about.
Yeah, show me.
So just pulling it up here. Oops. So here it was, HTX hacker returns funds. Justin Sun confirms 250 ETH Whitehead bonus. So the hacker behind the near 5,000 ETH exploit on crypto exchange HTX last month has returned the stolen funds. And because of that, they paid him 250 ETH or $400,000. They're probably going to hire the guy.
Yeah, right. No, exactly. That's what ends up happening.
Because he's smart enough to hack it. Well, how'd you do that?
Bravo.
We need to get you on board.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what Steve Jobs would do with Apple. Find the guy that can hack his system and then hire him.
Right. Definitely. What do they always say? Keep your enemies close.
I wonder what the bid price is for, well, not the bid price, but I wonder what the actual price for hacking Apple is, because you get paid to hack Apple if you can successfully do it. It's funny.
Really?
Yeah, they'll pay you to do it because they want the most intense.
Oh yeah. So
security
there must
system.
be people out there. That's all they do. That's their focus. We're going to get into this. We're going to get into this.
Oh yeah. And they get such a dopamine hit from that.
So I don't know. The beginning of this week has been a little bit of a downtrend for the market,
Yep.
But I'm still got a huge positive outlook on the market and what's coming up in the next couple of years. So, things definitely, the market's volatile. It goes up and down like you wouldn't believe. But I think at the end of the day, summer 2025, everybody's going to be like, this is great. They're going to be on top of the world. Thinking that it only can go up more. It only can go up more. Buy, and I'll be selling. That's when I'll be selling.
Well, it's exciting that, even in spite of the stagnant market, we're still above a $1 trillion market cap.
We are. We're at 1.1 trillion. So, Bitcoin still over half a $1 trillion itself.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's always going to maintain that 50% or more. I'm sure.
No, it won't.
It could go down to 30, like during these altcoin runs and whatnot. We've seen that before.
Yeah, once the altcoins run and they shoot up, we're going to see Bitcoin dominance go down probably like 35%. Doesn't mean that Bitcoin price is going down. It just means that the altcoin market has surged a lot faster and higher gains than Bitcoin. That's all. But on the reverse of that, when the market starts going down, we're going to see much larger drops in the altcoin than we do in Bitcoin. So
and
it's always,
since our last live, check this out. The fear and greed index has gone up 1.
Really?
We
It's
are
actually gone up.
we are a smoking 50%
50%.
even. Yes.
Wow.
50% even, which is exciting because that means that we are at that we are at that very neutral, very beginning incline. That's the way I see it. That made
Yeah.
no
And,
that made no
we're,
sense, but it made sense in my head.
and we're going to see a lot of chop throughout the rest of this year. And
So neutral.
I bet you by the end of the year that the market cap is going to be a few $100 billion higher than it is right now. So
Yep.
instead of 1.1 trillion, we might see the market cap at 1.5 trillion by the end of the year.
Yep.
Which
Very even keel market, that's for sure.
Which I could see overall the market increasing over the next 3 months, 20%.
Yeah.
I think it could.
Yeah, it absolutely could. And that would, yeah. No, that, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I think that October is going to start to slowly but surely increase. It'll definitely it'll do some increase, I believe, for this. It already has shown some favor. There's a lot of strength behind last month that was not normal. So
no, September, really... no. Usually September is a month that's not a good month for Bitcoin in the crypto market.
Right. So, well, I don't know about you, man, but I think I'm ready to hit the hay. And
I am.
Yep. And for any of those of you who are watching or tuned in at all, please, if you could just like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell notification, that would mean the world to us. We also want to start doing some giveaways to people. So I'm going to put out some videos for that. Be fun. If you guys are new to cryptocurrency, how awesome would it be? How fun would it be if you could just be giving crypto for free? And all you got to do is just follow our channel and like and subscribe and hang out. You know, that's what we want to do. Just build a community of people that are understanding the new technologies of the world in finance and assets, and cryptocurrency is definitely going to lead that, I think, and already has been leading it. So anything else you want to add into that, Brian?
Just embrace it. Embrace the change.
I love that. Embrace the change. Embrace the pain.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, there will be growing pains.
There's growing pains for sure. But we've been doing this long enough to tell you.
Remember, sell when it's green and buy when it's red, and you should do okay.
Yep. Exactly. And you know, we've seen it years ago. It's up from when we first got started back in late 2016. You know, not like we're veterans here, but I'm just saying we've seen it go up, and it's maintained up even through the bear market. People were crying, new investors were crying, but like we weren't, because it was still up even in the bear market.
That's right.
That's exciting. So
it is.
But
so,
all right, my dude.
All right, Cody. Well, you have a good night.
Yeah,
and
you as well,
chat
man.
again soon.